Hi, this is Morley and this is the M-Wire. In this video, we are going to look at how a Fox interview with Newt Gingrich went seriously strange in a hurry. But first things first, thank you to my new subscribers. I greatly appreciate the support. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It would be greatly appreciated. So I don't know if you saw this video on Newt Gingrich on Fox News, but he brought up a certain person and things got really peculiar very fast. Watch this.
Pro-criminal and overwhelmingly elected with George Soros' money, and they're a major cause of the violence we're seeing because they keep putting the violent criminals back on the street.
I'm not sure we need to bring George Soros into this.
I was going to say you get the last word, Speaker.
He paid for it. I mean, why can't we discuss the fact that millions of dollars he spent?
I agree with Melissa. George Soros doesn't need to be a part of this conversation.
Okay. So it's verboten.
All right, we're going to... Okay, we're going to move on.
So now that you've seen and heard that, is there any one adjective in the English language to accurately describe how awkward and cringy that was? No, I didn't think so. But I don't understand why, though. I mean, it's not like George Soros hasn't been mentioned on Fox News before. This is not new, but somehow Newt Gingrich mentioning his name is taboo, especially when he has direct links to the Democratic Party. It's no secret that he's contributed lots of money to many Democrat campaigns, including Biden's campaign, which he contributed over $28 million. He's contributed campaigns to many a congressperson and many a governor. Like, this isn't news. I mean, here are some of the other organizations that he's donated to, just to name a few. Air America Radio, now defunct but identified as a liberal radio network. Applied Research Center, they say structural racism is deeply embedded in society. Gee, that sounds familiar. Do you know of any other organizations that are claiming the very same thing these days in the news? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Drum Major Institute, nonprofit think tank that generates the ideas for the progressive movement. This is where people like AOC, get all their quote-unquote ideas from. My point is that this is all public knowledge, okay? Like, this is not some super secret information that people are hiding for any reason. So that's why I don't understand why this interview went all weird like that. I mean, anything that Newt Gingrich said, you can Google, is my point. So why did it get all weird all of a sudden? That's just, I don't even know what to say about it. But I will admit, I had to watch that video more than once because the cringe factor was just too much. I couldn't resist. Let's get into this thing. Shameful Fox News centers Newt Gingrich for correctly stating George Soros' role in fomenting BLM terror. A Fox News panel lost their minds earlier today. Yeah, they certainly did. When a former House Speaker, Newt Gingrich, mentioned George Soros' role in supporting Black Lives Matter and Antifa terror displays. Gingrich told Fox News host Harris Faulkner that it is the district attorneys funded by George Soros who are responsible for the violence because they routinely allow rioters to be back on streets. That's not untrue. This is when the situation became extremely awkward and tense. So I won't read this part. This is what he said in the video. While it may be expected that a liberal commentator might not want to discuss Soros, the fact that Faulkner, a supposedly non-biased straight news anchor, would carry water for the progressive oligarch is highly disconcerting. Of course, Gingrich brought up a great point about Soros bankrolling far-left DAs who protect rioting terrorists at war with the Bill of Rights and Constitution. Big League Politics reported on how Soros ponied up a large donation to St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner after she vowed to prosecute the McCloskey family for standing up for their rights against the left-wing mob coming to their doorstep. A front-funded far-left billionaire, George Soros, has issued a $78,000 donation to the re-elect campaign of St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner, who is currently investigating the McCloskey family for defending their property against a marauding mob outside their home. The Missouri Justice and Public Safety PAC made the donation. This is a Washington, D.C. based entity that also papered over Gardner's campaign in 2016. They must have apparently rebranded from some Safety and Justice PAC, a Missouri Justice and Public Safety PAC, in order to dupe voters as they are a wide state organization. Soros minions admit that the oligarch's collaboration with fronts. Yes, it is no secret we contribute to Safety and Justice PAC, Soros spokesman Michael Vachon said to Just the News. We are for criminal justice reform. Gardner is railroading the McCloskeys after they were forced to confront left-wing terrorists who had barged through a gate and were threatened their home. The McCloskeys have had their home raided, their firearms confiscated, and the lawyer expects Gardner to officially file charges against them in the days to come. I believe the charges are imminent based upon Gardner's past administrative actions, and I believe any charges feel the wholeheartedly unwarranted, said St. Louis Attorney Joel Schwartz, who is serving as a legal counsel for the McCloskeys. Mary Pat Carl, a lawyer who quit her job as a homicide prosecutor after Gardner won election, is attempting to unseat Gardner. She claims that nearly 40% of prosecutors have resigned under Gardner's stewardship, showing how disastrous her tenure has been for the role of law and public safety. Here's what Mr. Trump has to say about it. I'll just let you read that on your own accord. So that's very interesting, people. The fact that on primetime news, Newt Gingrich goes on there and brings up a certain leftist globalist who shall remain nameless, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and the whole thing just goes sideways. Thank you very much for coming on to my video, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe, please share the video, please like, and all that good stuff. Thank you so much. God bless.